first. Great, we're back.
Okay.
All right. So you started your allotment, and this area is scheduled for building.
Yeah.
So what kind of building was scheduled to be?
So they were looking to do some rapid build housing on 3/4 of the site. But through the different years, we'd been promised a community centre here. We'd been promised part of the greening strategy of the Liberties said that there was needed to be more greening area in this. We're under, for the World Health Organization, we only got 0.7 of a metre per head in the area, so it's under the world's health organisations for that. So at that stage then, when they wanted to put the wraparound housing on it, the park is more needed, and because there's a lack of community space in the area, the garden becomes that amenity for everybody to contribute in and participate in, and that's, you know, that resonates through all community gardens. You know.
What impact does having a garden do for the people who live here and there?
Look, it's the simplest thing is you're getting to meet people, you're getting to share information. A lot of what's happening in around the community is happening online in a digital format. 75% of the people don't see it, don't know about it. Within the community garden, people get to hear, they get to meet people. Just today we had a lad who's only moved into the area from Roscommon, and he was delighted to get walked in and get introduced to people and see that there's a sense of community in the area where people are watching out for each other. Do you know the way? And we've the kids in and out, and they're having a great old time with it as well, like, you know. So we're trying to empower the kids as well. I think through the market, that's how we look to do that, you know, giving them an opportunity to earn a small bit of pocket money, which will relieve the pressure off the parents as well, like, you know. And then they're getting to see what they make with their hands and how to sell it. So,
what are you up against, or how come this is this approved to be turned into?
So yeah, just over a year ago we did win, and the site was transferred to Z5, which is recreational use only. We went through by the time we actually got to deal with DCC, we had more or less done all the groundwork of what type of park we wanted, what we needed in the community, and how we would like to see it developed. So we're quite happy with the new plan that DCC have come up with, and we've been working at how can the garden itself can't be enterprise. Community garden just doesn't work, but it is the heart of social economy where you get trust, friendship, you can borrow, you know, everything. Sometimes you can just overhear something that will trigger something for your own relief. So we're quite happy with the development. It hasn't gone to tender as yet, so in the new year they're hoping it'll go to tender, and that's kind of due because a couple of other projects in the area were a little bit delayed. And by us introducing the cottage market to the site, the idea that this will create a small enterprise, and up to 10 stalls we hope to have, with a key core group of 5 of those stall holders that will set up the units and take them down at the end of the day. But then anyone who engages through the community garden and the market will also form the cooperative management with DCC to what happens on the site. So, I mean, rather than people coming in and taking more profit out of the community, anything that can be made through the cottage market and through the garden can resonate and stay to improve the garden. And it was one of the things that we did put in when we came to our manifesto, that we were happy for the park to develop with time and over time, so it didn't have to just appear overnight. I think within the community gardens, you kind of, stuff happens and we kind of change our direction as we go along. So, you know, new technology comes in, or someone come in with a lot more experience and they'll drive us a certain direction. But it's non-committal, which kind of works for people because people are so busy as well, do you know what I mean? So they can come in and then feel if they go missing for a month that they're still welcome back just to carry on. Now, what they started might have gone a different way, but that's the law of the way it is, like, you know.
And so the people who are going to tenders, that means an outside third party is going to build
put in the groundworks, the playgrounds, the performance area. We've kind of, hasn't been fully written down yet, but we're looking to get the contract to plant and grow everything that's needed for the whole site, which would be a great opportunity working with DCC as well. And then, I mean, ultimately then, I mean, through the performance area, everything that we have in the local community, all will get a chance to perform, it's endless what the possibilities are for it, like, you know.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
It's amazing.
It's going
yeah.
to be amazing when
yeah.
it's here. Because there's nothing of real space in that block of flats there, you know.
No, well, there's no community centre either, and this is how the community garden has added as that amenity, because people are able to get out of the flats, and not just on Oliver Bond or Robert Emmet, the Maltons. You've got families that are all in small rooms on top of each other, and to be able to access fresh air, like when you're in here gardening or not gardening, you forget you're in the city, like, you know, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you plan to, as you said, in your allotments here, grow food for sale, right?
Well, to show people how to preserve food. You know, as it stands at the moment, we can't actually sell food from the community garden because it's not certified.
But in time.
But in time, we would like to see it go that way, yeah.
So you'd have an actual cottage, a food producing area.
Food producing area coming from the city centre, like, yeah.
Let's talk about the sprint then. So
Okay.
So you started working with the ladder about 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago. Okay, so I think it was first introduced to the ladder about 4 or 5 months ago through the Catalyst events, and from just kind of linking in with looking at social impact, what our impact was, and trying to figure it all out ourselves. We came across then that the design sprint was kicking in, which one thing within the community garden, we have lots of little things going on, because it has to operate like that, because you won't necessarily get people for one thing, so you have to kind of amalgamate 2 or 3 ideas together. And what that turns out is, when we got into the design sprint, I landed in with 50 little ideas that are all happening around each other, but we were able to amalgamate and bring them all down to the core. What and how can we do this?
And so what problem did you focus on, or opportunity did you focus on?
We were looking at how the cottage market can deliver training to the local community, and then through upskilling and training, get them to be certified cottage marketeers, so they have pride in their product as well, and get it up to a good standard, like, as well. So so that's what we're kind of focusing on how to get people to selling at the market. So teaching them a craft, and then getting them to have their own stall at the craft fair.
So that allows them to be able to learn something and then turn it into cash straight away.
Yeah, so the model that we went for was with the bacon was bake some cash. And basically, when we're setting up in the morning of a cottage market, we'll bring in the kids, and then they'll get a lesson on how to make a certain amount of cupcakes, which as soon as the market opens, they'll be able to sell them. And ultimately for the children, earn themselves a little bit of pocket money. Now, on the other side of it, we will have other various products that go along the way, but a lot of them are very much socially responsible products. So on Saturday just gone, with a girl in who was knitting hats from end pieces of wool, and there's fantastic designs, and then they would in turn pass them on to people that they know on the streets and that are homeless. Like then with a cupcake lady, and with some art, so people get an opportunity to try stuff that they're making at home and see, can they get it to market and product test it, and if it needs to be improved, there's enough skilled people to try and share skills as well. So from seasoned marketeers to beginners, what we find is a lot of people who would like to go to a market, but they just haven't got the confidence, or they just wouldn't know how to go about it. So we hope to break all them barriers down to make it easy for people to walk in and product test their product, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really important to be able to test your products.
Yeah.
Bring them here, learn how to test them, see what works, what doesn't. Rather than just, people often have the idea that I'm making this at home and it's my big idea. They bring it, it doesn't sell, and then they give up.
Yeah, there's no chance. No, it's not. It's like everything has to be tweaked. And we initiated our first cottage markets. We just got the end of summer up in the digital hub, and we brought the crafts to the digital hub. Now, it was great. People come in and had a look, but the crafts aren't a big seller. But the other big part to our market is it's actually creating that network event where people can come together and talk and share information and have a look at how it's done. Like, you know, we've product tested. We recycled horseshoes and turned them into key ring holders. You know, they don't sell, but a lot of people touch them and have a look and think it's a nice idea. So again, there's that idea that you can come in and sit down and make something and kind of kill that pastime. It's not necessarily everything has to be for sale, but just the actual learning process and being able to sit down with people as well and share feelings as well. So the design sprint really helped me focus it in to see how it was done, and the team around, it was amazing ideas just coming up in the room all the time, like, you know. But at the same time, the how can we question was always to bring it back to the simplest format.
So once you figured out what you were going to be working on in the design sprint, you started coming up with, you said, like lots of different ideas.
Yeah, we storyboarded out how we could see it happening, what we imagined it would look like. It was chopped. I think we scrapped 2 or 3 attempts, and then we got to prototype it and test it the following week, which was the week 6, week 7, which again we were quite surprised with what the lads came back, because we took on a set of lads who are early school leavers, and they went for the bake some cash. The idea of baking cakes and getting their certificate for food safety for their CV, and they also mentioned that being able to eat healthily, which was quite surprised because there were 3 angles that we hadn't put down on the board. So
interesting.
It was very interesting.
Going back a step then to, you created your prototype. What was your prototype?
So our prototype was how can we offer training for local residents to access the community cottage garden market, and what products might work for them. Do you know what I mean? Hang on a second, lads. No, hang on a second, lads.
I'll come in here.
So you back to the prototype. What exactly was the prototype?
So we had done a website for offering 3 courses, which was pallet furniture, bike for cash, and bake some cash. So it was cupcake making, repair bicycles, and then making pallets. But we also put in a few other, like with manual handling, food safety, and Safe Pass. So again, offering real skills that people need for work, and at the same time stuff that can just be taken on a very much part-time basis.
And so the you said once you tested that, it was that you were surprised with results. Just to go back over that one.
Okay, so yeah, so we got the prototype up and running in 6 weeks, and then we product tested it with the CMS just down the road, which is a group of early school leavers. We were quite surprised. They read the whole thing quite fine, and we were able to see the angle of how the reader was reading it. From that, they went for the bake some cash, which was like the idea of making cupcakes and then selling it within the market, with that morning in the market, and getting some pocket money. But they were also quite impressed that they would have the food safety for their CV, and that they would be able to cook and eat healthily, which was 2 angles that we never thought of at all. So that was the real eye opener when we got to test the product, like with the outside user, like.
Yeah, it's and that's amazing, because you always get this when you get that that's real product testing, right? Because
yeah.
you create a thing, in your head you've thought you've worked out all details, present it to real people, then they come back to you with
the answers. Yeah,
we're nearly done here.
Okay.
You looked at the insights. What's the next steps?
So we launched our cottage market, as I said, just at the end of last summer, and we had our first one there last Saturday on Mead Street. We're hoping to get one more in before Christmas, and then we'll be kicking off in January again, and then offering the first round of training. So the idea would be that parents and child can come to the market in the morning, make something, and then let the kids sell it in the afternoon in the market. And there will be top-end products there available as well.
For after the prototype that you saw that the bake for cash would be popular, will you start offering that?
I think we will, yeah. We're going to look in 2 signs. So we're going to look at, again, it's about creating a space for people to come together. So we're looking at the cupcakes, and then we're also looking at where kids can come in and make their own pizza. Again, talking about nutritional value in food and all the rest. But the idea would be that there'll be an early morning workshop for parent and child. So it's just somewhere to come together and sit down, and if they want to sell it, great. They might just want to take their cupcakes and go home with them. That'd be quite fine too, like, you know.
Yeah. So last question: Did the design sprint help you think about strategy or any of those?
Yes, definitely. And the part of our design sprint was where would we be in 6 months, where would we be in 6 years, and that gave a certain direction to head towards. So right now we're just regrouping for what we've learned after product testing it, and then we'll kind of look at our next stage level. So ultimately we'll be looking to train people up, and then within 6 months have them selling confidently in the market. So it'll be summertime, so it'll be perfect time. We're aiming to have 10 stalls.
Great stuff.
Smashing.
Great. Thanks a million, Richard.
No bother.
That's it.